there's a crew in town. The head hillbillies are making their rounds. Small town whispers loud and clear. The sheriff shot the judge in his chambers chair.
Sheriff got a secret he won't keep. Judge shot dead in his disbelief. A lot of people have some stories to tell. Dark pass away, get the sound of a shotgun shell.
All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground. Rumors fly and they can't be bound.
Neighbors hide behind their blinds. Whisper tales of troubled minds. Skeletons covering the mountainside. A treacherous reality in the pines.
Winter reveals the hidden lies. Moonlight couldn't mask the cries. Shadows caught in sunlit skies. There's no cover, no disguise. All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground. Rumors fly and they can't be bound.
Winter reveals the hidden lie. Moonlight could mask their cries. Shadows caught in sunlit skies. There's no cover, no disguise.
All the secrets spill on down. Voices loud in this old town. From the courthouse to the ground. Rumors fly and they can't be bound.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show this evening. We've got a special treat tonight. I'm going to go ahead and pull them up in here. We got Docket Dodgers. Welcome to
Hey,
the show.
hello.
So we've got Wade Hall and Matt Hager. Matt is a lawyer, and I think, Wade, you're a law student, right?
That's right. I'm trying to be a lawyer. We're working on it.
Well, you guys are great. Welcome to the show. My name is Elizabeth. If you have not been here before, where have you been? We're glad that you're here. This is Hillbilly Crime. Now, we've got a new case, kind of this big, I don't know. I'm going to let the guys tell it because I am learning about this with our viewers tonight. So, Matt, tell us what we got here.
We have a possible double homicide in Stanton area, Winchester area. I think that there was a young lady named Reacheal Dawson. She had actually went on a hike or a walk or something, and she never did come home. And whenever her boyfriend came home, his son had said, "Hey, we can't find Ray nowhere," and that's what they called her, was Ray. And they said, "We can't find her nowhere." So he went out screaming, yelling for her. He said, "I texted her multiple times. She never did reply to me." It was very out of character for her. And I think they actually found her in and it was is that the hotel one or the Airbnb, Wade? I think it's the hotel one. They actually found her at a Red Roof Inn. And they had some white capsule pills that they later tested, and it was too much methamphetamine inside of those. It was like 5,000 nanograms per milliliter, and I think the normal overdose is like 200 milligrams per milliliter. They found that the room was rented to a Brian Epperson. They went out to his truck, and they found the same style capsules out in his truck. That's also related to another death in Winchester. And I don't remember the young lady's name right now. We got it pulled up, Wade.
Yeah.
But
She went by Chrissy, but same situation. It was an overdose. They found the capsules near the crime scene, and those capsules matched the ones that were found in Brian Epperson's truck that was at the hotel later. And they were about a month apart. And this one was also at an Airbnb rented by Mr. Epperson. So he was connected to both of them by being paying the bill for the rooms, and the same substances were found in both locations.
I pulled up your all's description underneath your video that you guys did on this, and it says we're gonna watch one of your guys' shows. It says that you break down the chilling case of Brian Epperson, a man now facing red rum charges in Powell County, East Kentucky, after the tragic death of Kristen Morris in an Airbnb. But she wasn't the only one. Multiple women, Reacheal Dawson, Hilory Davis, and others, have died under eerily similar circumstances, all allegedly tied to Epperson. Was it just meth or something far more sinister? I love your all's description.
no, thank you.
Whoever wrote that did a really good job. It says you guys put victims connected to Brian, Kristen Morris, Reacheal Dawson, Hilory Davis, and then an unnamed woman.
Yeah, the family, they were very adamant that these weren't like drug users, so they wouldn't have been consuming such high quantities of drug. Even recreational users wouldn't consume the amount of drugs that were found in their system.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of the other cases in this area, the Mickey Steins and Judge Mullins case, one of the victims of Ben Fields, Jennifer Hill, she had died of a drug overdose, and I often wondered what her autopsy would show. You know, what kind of substances did she overdose on? Was it something that she normally would take? You know, stuff like that.
We're not like experts on methamphetamine consumption, but I thought it was odd that the meth was in pill form, like they were in capsules.
Mm-hmm.
So that leads me to think you're maybe trying to pass it off as something else, or this is not meth.
Well, substance abuse, we have watched the evolution of substances over the last 20 years go from pain pills, opioids, and then it moved to the harder stuff. And then, you know, now you've got so many different people that are just putting stuff together that a lot of people have, or well, not people, but illegal organizations have pill presses that they're making their own, they're pressing their own hard pills. So people think that it's something that, you know, is a pharmaceutical drug that has come from a pharmacy, when it's actually got, you know, the big F word that's unaliving people, and big H word. We're seeing a lot of.
For sure. And if you're just taking something like that, you would never know, because it's in a capsule. You can't really test anything in a capsule without breaking it open. And it would be a good way to possibly trick someone.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I had, just to kind of jump this in here, I had spoken with somebody who was with Jennifer Hill whenever she did pass away. And they said that she thought she was just going in to do a pill with somebody. Somebody was doing one with her. And the next thing you know, she came back out, jumped in the vehicle, and they took off down the road. And he said she started, what was that? Oh gosh, that wasn't a Percocet. And the next thing you know, she was dead. So people,
happens really quick.
Yeah, people just don't know what they're ingesting into their body nowadays. That's for sure. Okay, so let's pull up. Do you all just want to pull up this video and watch it? Your show?
That's fine with us. But when we at the time we recorded the video, we didn't realize that there was a third victim had been found. It was Hilory Davis. It was the same situation. She was found in November the 7th, 2024 at a Super 8 motel room or Super 8 hotel room. Same thing. Toxicology report said that hers was 360 times over what a typical overdose was. And she had reportedly met Epperson on a dating app.
Wow. Wow. So, yeah, I wonder how many victims all together they'll end up linking to him. That's
And you know, I hate to feel like I'm Nostradamus, but I kind of said on there. I wonder how many more are out there if these are just the ones we know about.
Yeah,
yeah.
and the very next day, it starts coming out that there was this other lady, and the same exact fact pattern.
Well, we'll see. Do you guys know when he first came on the radar?
Well, that goes back quite a while, maybe a couple decades with his.
Oh,
Do we
really?
have that? Do we ever
Yeah.
find that? You want to pull it? Can we pull that up on your on our screen?
Yeah, I
So
think you guys
Yeah.
have access to
Okay.
screen share
Because
too.
we have some more information that we didn't have at the time we were recording the video. There's been more things to come out that we've uncovered since we've done that video, and we thought it'd be nice to share it with your guests here today. So we're gonna when you edit to stage.
I don't know.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Let me pull down the video.
It's kind of great. It's kind of grayed out, Elizabeth. It won't let us.
See, let me pull this off and let me start. I think I was, yeah, now try it. Sorry, I had
Add
this.
more stuff to it.
Now try it, she said.
Yeah, I had the screen share occupied.
Okay, it's on now. Is there any way to refresh on our end to be able to do it? Because it's
Yeah,
all of our
here.
stuff grayed out. Oh, there we go.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Brian
So
Epperson.
do we need to tell you which one we need to pull up?
Do you all have access down there where it says add to stage and remove?
No. So
No.
if you just go through it there, and you go to the very last one, we have a court trial summary of his first encounter with law enforcement. It'll be the last one.
That.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep. So this was from a DUI that ended up with someone dying. He pled out to the
I thought that this is not the jury trial.
Yeah, this is the jury trial.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was found guilty.
Yeah.
We have pictures of the car crash. If you back up 3 pictures.
I see it. It's car crash.
That was added to the Victims of Brian Epperson Facebook page. It's a really active Facebook page. And this was added by, I believe, his mother of the victim. And it shows just how destroyed the trucks were. So it was a pretty violent collision. And he was found to have been high on some substances when it happened. So he has a history of connection to drugs, and it seems like he hasn't left that world.
You know, we were looking through this, and we were trying to find this specific car crash, and we found multiple burglary and possession charges that he had too. Right around 2013, 2014, we found some of those charges.
Look there. A. Clem says Brian hit and unalived a man in Clay City 15 plus years ago while high on rugs, allegedly, and he spent time over it. You can look that info up. Also, he's been known for rugs for many years, allegedly.
Yeah, Clem is who added it to our live stream when we had the other one going, and that's how we found out to look more into that situation. And when it goes back to those burglary allegations and charges against him, he has a long history of apparently very voyeuristic behavior. If you go back to one more picture, it says spy cams. The Facebook page was saying he was doing work for these people, putting in something household related, and he sent an invoice for what he bought, and they looked at what he bought, and it showed his past orders, and it seems like he's buying these spy cams to put in people's homes.
Wow.
And we actually have a charge. We talk about it on our show for voyeurism. He got that out of Clark County, and he was hiding a hidden camera in a digital clock.
Yeah, of a ex-girlfriend. He had spy cameras in her bedroom.
Well, there was another case. I can't think of the fella's name right now, but he had split up from his wife, and he put a listening device or a listening app on his kid's iPad as an app. And so whenever the mommy's new boyfriend came over, he heard them through that spy app and came over and unalived them both. That's really,
wow.
those are dangerous. Those kinds of.
Well, it just shows how comfortable he gets with invading people's personal space. If you're comfortable doing that, what else are you comfortable doing?
Oh, yeah. Well, and technology has advanced so much. It's terrifying. We used to hear years ago, I don't know if you guys heard it or not, but like with your laptop, they'd tell you to put a piece of black tape or something over top of your webcam on your laptop because people could get into your camera that way.
Well, now everything has a recording device and a camera on it.
That's very scary, hacking into them. But this guy's actually putting them in people's places.
Exactly. He worked as a handyman, so he was probably traveling across. The two murders were in different counties, and that's why some of the legal issues are. One county's already brought murder charges, and the other one they're probably waiting to see, gathering up information. They have time to bring it. So he's been traveling throughout multiple counties, Eastern Kentucky, doing handyman work. So it's hard to tell how many homes he has been in, especially with these women. He seems to have almost a MO of 20-some-year-old women. And
pretty.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, dating apps, right?
Right.
He's been finding them on dating apps.
Hilory Davis happened November 7th, 2024. And then looks like May 31st, 2025 is when we find out about Kristen Morris. And then June 27th is when we find out about Reacheal Dawson. So we can see a pattern. I mean, it looks like one victim, it was 6 months until he did Kristen Morrison, but I mean, it was a month between Kristen Morrison and Reacheal Dawson. What leads me to believe there's more out there that we don't know about. What happened in between November 2024 and May 31st, 2025 that we don't know about.
Can you all read the complaint?
Criminal
there?
complaint?
Yeah, I can read it.
We don't need another one.
I can read it off of.
My eyes are bad.
No, I got you.
Getting old, guys.
So the first one we have here is for the possession of controlled substance. So on the murder charge, they had it as a sealed indictment, but the same facts were in this possession of controlled substance. If you switch to the other complaint I uploaded,
That one
is that it?
says video voyeurism.
No, it will say
go to the next.
That's page 2 of that one.
Page 2. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe I didn't upload that one. I'll read it though.
Okay, go ahead and just read it.
They had the murder one sealed, but this position of controlled substance one they did not seal. So it was May 31st, 2025. Powell County coroner responded to a Patsy Road in Stanton, Kentucky. Upon their arrival, they found an unresponsive female by the name of Kristen Morris. Miss Morris was staying at an Airbnb that Brian Epperson had secured. Brian Epperson was present during this event, and the coroner located unknown tablets filled with an unknown substance. Upon receiving the toxicology report back at approximately 20 days after death, it was found Miss Morrison had suffered an overdose, with the nanograms per milliliter of blood being 57,000 plus. The medical examiner's office stated the typical overdose would be about 200 nanograms per milliliter of blood. The only thing in Miss Morris's system was methamphetamine. This is when the coroner produced a Kentucky State Police Post 8 Detective Virgil Rucker with the evidence she had collected on May 31st. From the scene, Detective Rucker took possession of the evidence and placed it into the Kentucky State Police evidence in Moorhead, Kentucky. On June 27th, 2025, shortly after midnight, Winchester Police Department received a call of a missing person at the Red Roof Inn out of Irvine, Kentucky. The location was obtained using the Find My Phone software provided by family members. Upon investigating, it was found in the room the missing female was in, and it had been written by Brian Epperson. Upon entry into the room, the Winchester Police Department found an unresponsive female who was pronounced deceased shortly after. An officer investigated the crime. The same style capsules were located in a bag in Brian Epperson's truck, which was secured via a search warrant. Those tablets were consistent with the ones in Powell County, Kentucky, which contributed to the overdose of Kristen Morris, which he was also present for.
Wow. Well, this makes me wonder too, just how many times people were categorized as just an overdose, and there wasn't any, people didn't look any further, because the stigma is so bad with substance abuse. It kind of just feels like, another one bites the dust. There's another number.
Yep. Most drug users don't use alone, but they find most overdosed people alone. So it makes you wonder who was there, what happened.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if we just look at some of these numbers, what'd you say was a typical overdose?
they said 500 or they said 200 nanograms per milliliter of blood.
Kristen Morris was 57,000. Reacheal Dawson was 14,220, and Hilory Davis was 72,000.
Wow.
Yeah, those numbers are so much higher.
Do you guys know, whenever they do an autopsy and an investigation, or in a death, when somebody overdoses, do you all know if they look at that kind of stuff? Like,
I would say these numbers probably jumped out to them when they saw them. But I think the biggest thing was the capsules being located in the same place with the same, rented property. I think that's what really stood out the most.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if they're always looking at the numbers of how much is in the bloodstream.
that's kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seems like common sense to me. It'd be something really easy to check and see.
Well, I think the only reason they looked into it was because of the family. The boyfriend was trying to find the woman. Like, I think family advocating for victims is the quickest path to getting something done.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. We've got I pulled the video up of her boyfriend talking. Y'all want to watch it?
Sure.
Before we watch yours. And let's see if I can do it this way. Man speaks on girlfriend. Let's see if I got it. Let me pull this one down. And then we're going to go watch your all's video.
Oh, this is at the funeral, I believe.
Okay, here we go.
Good evening. I'm Annie Brown. Not guilty. That was her. Brian Epperson is also charged with drug possession in connection to 2 separate overdose deaths. The boyfriend of one of the women has been speaking out on the justice he wants served, and he has a message to share. LAX 18's Kaylee Randall shares the new details in tonight's big story at 6.
You are charged, sir, with murder.
I had to watch them lower her down and the casket closed. While he's alive, he's breathing.
2 funerals in 1 week for 2 separate overdose deaths, one in Winchester and one in Stanton. 44-year-old Brian Epperson is charged with possession of a controlled substance, pills that Winchester police say are connected to the death of 29-year-old Reacheal Dawson. And in 32-year-old Kristen Morris's case, Epperson is charged not only with possession, but also murder. He pleaded not guilty to that murder charge in Powell County Court Friday morning.
Said, I just wanted to be in the courtroom. I've never heard Brian Epperson's voice, and I want to hear what this man sounds like. I need to hear the lies saying, pleading not guilty.
You heard from Dawson's boyfriend, Caleb Thompson, yesterday about the devastating call he received that Reacheal had died and how he saw her for himself that same night.
And that image I'll never get out of my head. I'll never get the image of that blue bag when they unzipped it and Reacheal was laying in it. I'll never get that out.
According to a complaint warrant, Dawson was found dead in a room at a Red Roof Inn in Winchester on June 27th, which Epperson rented out. The police complaint reads that capsules were found in Epperson's truck at the Red Roof Inn, similar to ones police believed caused Morris's overdose death at an Airbnb in Stanton on May 31st. The same Airbnb police say Epperson rented out.
Reacheal never did a hard drug in her life. She never did drugs in her life. She never did pills. She never did any type of powders in her life. She never did no type of drugs.
Investigators have not confirmed any potential motives, but Thompson has his own suspicions.
How can you not tell me that in less than a month, 2 women that are one is Spanish and one is black? Tell me how this is not a hate crime. I need Brian Epperson to be put away for literally the rest of his life.
Epperson is scheduled for a preliminary hearing in Powell County on July 15th in Powell County.
Wow. Okay. So then let's pull your alls up. Do you all have anything you want to say before we?
Just that having someone go on the news like that is a motivating factor to get the legal system rolling.
Mm-hmm. And what is it? The squeaky wheel gets the grease. Sometimes you got to keep on. Okay.
Talking about Letcher County, the shooting of the sheriff in Letcher County, and now we had the Amber Spradling case in Prestonsburg. I feel like we have another one close to home.
We do, very close to us, about 2 hours away. Eastern Kentucky is a hotbed of drama recently, and now we have 2 murdered women and an alleged suspect in custody.
Yeah, we have a double murder possibly going on. There's a Brian Epstein or Epperson that was charged. Don't want to see Epstein.
No. We're already on a list now.
Oh, no. All right. So we have a Brian Epperson, and I first seen about this case, Wade, on TikTok. A young woman in Irvine, which is really close to where these murders happened at, did a TikTok on it. So we're gonna play that TikTok for you now and let you see what we seen.
2 mothers have been found passed away here in Eastern Kentucky in Airbnb and a hotel room, both rented out by this guy. On June 27th, Reacheal Dawson went missing after going for a walk around 3:30 p.m. They live in like a really rural area, like they lived on a 1-lane road out in the woods. Stepson couldn't find her, so her boyfriend Caleb texted her and said that he was going to Walmart. She didn't text back, which was really weird because she always texts back or returns calls. Caleb is actually my boyfriend's friend. This is all happening here in my hometown and in like the surrounding counties. He couldn't get a hold of her. He contacted police and her sister. Police were able to track her location to the Red Roof Inn in Winchester through the Find My Phone app that a family member had provided. During the police investigation, they had found out that 44-year-old Brian P. Epperson was the one who rented the hotel room at the Red Roof Inn in Winchester. He was also connected to another woman, 32-year-old Kristen Morris, who was found on May 31st, an Airbnb that Epperson had rented on Patsy Mountain. It's technically in Stanton, but pretty much in my hometown. He was arrested pretty quickly after they found Reacheal. He was only charged with possession. Both of these mothers passed away from ingesting too many controlled substances. I have to be careful with what I say on here or this video will get taken down. Go look up the news articles. All you got to do is search Brian Epperson or Reacheal Dawson or Kristen Morris, and any of this will pop up. You'll be able to read all the details there. But Reacheal wasn't a drinker. She didn't smoke. She had never done any controlled substances before. That was very out of character for her. I don't know about the
So let me ask you guys something. Is there the thought that he took her out of her home, or that he's kidnapped her?
I don't know. I think they said that he went for a walk. She went for a walk. Is that what it is?
Yeah, she went on a walk near her house there, and they never saw her again.
Where she wasn't a drug user. You know, why would she have went with him?
I know there's a lot of missing details there, especially in a rural place. There's probably opportunity to get someone to get in a truck.
I noticed that she said, I didn't notice when we first made the video, but she said they only charged him with possession. I think they were doing that to hold him until they could probably go talk to a Commonwealth attorney or something to see if they had enough evidence to go ahead and charge him with the red room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes
I got to learn the YouTube lingo.
Sometimes you'll catch on. Sometimes they'll do that, though, won't they? They'll charge something smaller just to hold them in jail long enough to where they can get enough evidence together to be able to charge them with red rum or something to that effect. So let me, I don't know how well you guys are familiar with Irvine, or Irvin, is what a lot of people call it. But it's a pretty rough place. I used to hang out there years ago in my early 20s, and it is rough. Really, like, it's dangerous.
The only time I've ever been to Estill County and through that area is that when you're on the Mount Parkway, it's a shortcut to go to Richmond by cutting through Estill County. That's the only time I've ever been to Estill County.
Yep, it's right on the edge, the outskirts of Richmond, and there's a mountain. You can go up this mountain, and you talk about the town that time forgot. I mean, it's like 50 years ago. It's really wild to get back in some of these areas that aren't as modernized as the rest of the world.
The other girl, but I'm assuming the same can be said for her. Now been charged with connection to the Kristen Morris case. Winchester PD did put out a statement saying that he was the prime suspect in Reacheal Dawson's investigation. Hopefully charges will be brought forth on him for that soon too. More people need to be talking about this. I mean, this is so close to home. This could have happened to any of us. It could have been me. It could have been you. Please share this video to spread awareness. Make your own video, whatever it takes. You can also find a lot more details that's not listed on any of the news channels on her boyfriend's Facebook page, which is right here. So bad for him and his son. I cannot even imagine what they're going through. His son had just lost his mother recently, and now he's lost his stepmother too. She also raised and took care of her niece like she was her own daughter. Kristen Morris was a mother too. It's just so sad. Hopefully he has to spend the rest of his life in jail.
So that's where I first found out about this case from. And we actually have some exclusive information, don't we, Wade?
Yeah, we have the citations. They're known as uniform citations in Kentucky. We would call them a criminal complaint here in West Virginia. There's two incidents, really. You have the drug investigation, which is related to the murder. And when it comes to the murder indictment, that's sealed. So what exactly does that mean?
Usually it's sealed before it's they'll seal an indictment before it's served. So a grand jury will meet, and sometimes if they're afraid it's a high profile case and they don't want the person to go on a run, they will seal the indictment until it's served. But I think in this case, it has been served. It's just that it's not probably scanned into the system yet where you or I can find it.
Exactly. But in the drug possession case, it's alleged the women were killed by drug overdose. In the complaint, I'll read it to you here. It says, on May 31st, 2025, Powell County coroner responded to Stanton, Kentucky. Upon their arrival, they found an unresponsive female by the name of Kristen Morris. Miss Morris was staying at an Airbnb that Brian Epperson had secured. Brian Epperson was present during this event, and the coroner located unknown tablets filled with unknown substances. Upon receiving the toxicology report approximately 20 days after the death, it was found Miss Morris had suffered from an overdose, with her blood being at 57,000 plus on their measurements. The medical examiner's office stated the typical overdose would be approximately 200 nanograms per milliliter of blood. The only other thing in Miss Moore's system was methamphetamine. This was when the coroner produced the Kentucky State Police Post 8 Detective Virgil Rucker was with the evidence he'd collected from that scene. Mr. Rucker took possession of the evidence and placed it into the Kentucky State Police evidence in Moorhead, Kentucky. So it's saying the amount of drugs that were in her system is not a recreational user's amount, not that she took too much or something like it. Seems the amount she took, anyone would assume they would die from that amount of their system.
And that was Morris, right? Was that the name of the victim in that one?
Yes, it was a Miss Morris.
So she was the girlfriend, and that was found in Stanton, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
And then not too far away in Winchester is where we have this other young lady that went missing.
Yes, and we looked at the map. It was about a 25-minute drive down the road. And that was on June 27, 2025. Shortly after midnight, Winchester Police Department received a call of a missing person at the Red Roof Inn of Irvine, Kentucky. The location was obtained using the Find My iPhone software, which I keep on my phone. I think it's good to share your location with friends and family because, the government's already tracking you anyways.
So maybe I missed, were they thinking that, were they saying that all three of them had met him on dating apps?
The dating app I know was Hilory. She was the one last fall. They know that one for sure. Ray was the one walking, I believe. So I don't think there was a connection there.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not sure about the other one, but I would assume social media of some kind, but we're not certain on all the facts.
Okay.
So
Go ahead, honey. I'm sorry.
I was going to say where he did his handyman work, it was probably Facebook or something like that. He was connecting with a lot of people.
Okay, so he was more. So there's just an endless possibility of ways that he was meeting these people. It wasn't like a one specific way, like a dating app he's meeting all of them on. He could have been meeting them as a handyman. He could have been meeting them any way.
Well, we're going to find out more as this case goes on, because now they have probable cause, and they're probably going to search his cell phone. They're probably going to search his social media. They're probably going to have access to the dating apps. They're probably going to find more victims because of this. He's been arrested on this one case. So as we go through this case, we're going to get a lot more discovery. We're going to, and possibly they may be more victims.
And if not victims, like you were talking about a pill pressing scheme, these drugs had to come from somewhere.
That's
and
what
my thing is, how did Brian Epperson know not to take these drugs? Because he's been around them 3 times now that we know about, and he's not unallied himself from it. So, so to me, he has knowledge of what they are.
Yeah, and two, they can. I don't know how deep they go on these kinds of things, but I mean, the kind of technology and testing that they have today, they can test that batch that he had that has killed all of these girls.
Mm-hmm.
They can test that and compare that to other substances that have been seized in the state, and see where it's all coming from. Like, where's this? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, they should have similar chemical markers, and however they uh, cut it up or whatever, it should be similar, and they should be able to tell, not exactly, it's not like a bullet from a gun, but that this is a real close match.
Yeah, and that it would at least show like a breadcrumb, you know, like where it's
Yeah.
going, traveling through. I don't know. I think about stuff like that all the time. Anything else
And
y'all want to say before I click it?
well, just that Eastern Kentucky, like there's a lot of hollers up through there, a lot of places, and it's hard to tell. Like you said, are they tracking this? Are they keeping someone overdosed a year ago? Are they keeping that substance to test today to see if it matched? We don't know. They probably not.
Well, I'm sure that there's a way that they can record. It's like it would be like a DNA, like a person's DNA, whatever numbers or whatever that they profile, like a person's DNA profile. They would be able to put together a rug profile, you know, of that specific sample. You know
We'll
what
see
I'm
what
saying?
they got. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Might as well let your friends and family know where you're at.
Exactly. Upon investigating, it was found in the room the missing female was in and had been rented by Brian Epperson. Upon entry into the room, the Winchester Police Department found an unresponsive female who was pronounced deceased shortly after. As officers investigated that crime scene, the same style capsules were located. So that was located in a bag in Mr. Epperson's truck. So the same cause of death they would assume from the first crime scene was found in the second crime scene in the truck of the suspect, and they searched it with the search warrant, which means they were covering all their bases. And those tablets were consistent with those in Powell County, which contributed to the overdose death of Kristen Morris. So that's showing he was connected. There's a connection there.
And actually, we have I think this is Fox 56. They actually went out and they interviewed the boyfriend. I think you said the boyfriend tried to text her or call her, and she never returned the calls, and it was just out of character for her. And they actually have an interview with him and a little bit more about this this double murder potentially that's going on. So we'll play that now. Let you guys listen to that.
But before you play it, I just want to say, like, he was very active in this, like talking to the police, getting them involved, getting the media involved. And when something happens like that, like a tragedy, you want someone advocating for you, and he's doing exactly that.
This person right here, that's who loved me. That's who accepted me, and that's who wanted to build a life with me. And I don't have that anymore. I have a piece of paper and ashes soon.
On Thursday, June 26th, Thompson says he hadn't heard from Dawson in a few hours and he wasn't able to get in contact with her, which was not normal. When his son called him saying Riri, as Thompson referred to her, wasn't home, he knew something was wrong.
I went outside and I screamed for her. I screamed until some of our furthest neighbors around our one-lane road heard me, because I couldn't stop. I just kept screaming for her. I just kept calling her phone, and she wasn't answering.
Reacheal's sister pinged her phone's location, which showed that she was here at this Red Roof Inn off Interstate Drive in Winchester. When first responders got here, they found a lifeless Reacheal Dawson in one of the rooms inside. And according to authorities, that room was rented out by Brian Epperson. Epperson was arrested on June 27th and later charged with murder in connection with another death, the May 31st overdose of 32-year-old Kristen Morris, who was found dead inside a Powell County Airbnb. Investigators.
So he was charged with the first woman's murder. Has he been charged with the second yet?
I don't think so. These are two different counties. It's the Powell County is where the murder citation's from, I believe.
Yeah.
So Clark County, that's Winchester, would actually have to do the other murder charge. So I don't think anyone's charged him yet. And that might be just because the grand jury is not met in Clark County yet, and they're waiting on the grand jury to convene to indict him.
I was wondering, when crimes that are so connected happen across county lines, does the prosecution work together? How does that normally take place?
I say that they'll do 2 separate trials in 2 separate jurisdictions, just for jurisdiction issues.
He had these capsules of pills. That's not something I've normally seen in my experience of drug users having capsules of methamphetamine.
No, I haven't either. And I thought that was odd. And, just I don't know whether he was trying to tell these women that they were something else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all allegedly. I mean, we don't know if Brian Epperson is innocent to proven guilty, but we're just speaking allegedly. I don't know if he was trying to convey to them that they were something else. We don't have any details about what color the capsules were or anything like that. So, but it's just odd, having methamphetamine in a pill.
It is very odd. But having 2 people overdose on the drugs that were found in your truck, and
Let me ask you guys something. Does that, I'm an addict in recovery, I guess is the best way to say it. Now, I never did, by the grace of God, I never did get on methamphetamine. But the way that they're talking about it being in those capsules and stuff, and just the way that, like, one of the girls, the victims, was not a drug user, it makes me wonder if they didn't possibly put them in capsules so it would be easier for them to dump in their drink or something.
I thought that too, because I don't want to get on here and assume anyone is a drug user. I know they said that she's not, and I believe them when they said that she's not. It's just how did he execute this crime? And I guess that's going to come out more and more when we get discovery. But I mean, I've thought about the same thing that you thought about, that he may have been using them to crush them up to dissolve them in some sort of liquid.
Yeah, and nobody would, you would never know it unless you're just taking a drink of something. So
he never had an issue. Like, he has been involved with 3 overdoses, but he's never had an issue with these capsules.
Yeah, he didn't overdose himself.
Yeah.
Have they said anything about him being an addict? Have they said how long? Has anybody said? Do you know?
Well, other than that DUI crash about 10 years ago, I would assume about his conditions of release, he would have to take drug screenings and things like that. But since he has access to these capsules, he's probably still could be using.
And if that's wouldn't that be considered his medical information too? That stuff would be all protected by HIPAA, wouldn't it? Unless
not if it's discovery in a criminal case, they can subpoena those records and get them. But with those DUI case that Wade was referring to, it wasn't for drinking. It's not what the DUI was. It was for, they had possession on there. I can't remember exactly the drug that was on the possession.
The Facebook comments were saying like 6 different kinds, but that's Facebook comments, so take that for how you will.
Interesting. He looks awful rough. He looks like he's been on a bender for a while in that mugshot.
That's a tough mugshot. Yeah.
That's a hard 44 years.
Yes.
Both to an Airbnb and a hotel room. That's a strong case for the prosecution there, and that's a lot to lean upon somebody.
This is just enough for probable cause, and it's enough for beyond a reasonable doubt, I think, at this point. But we're really early in this, and this is not all the evidence that they're going to discover. They're going to get into his cell phone. They'll get his cell phone data. They'll see all his movements and where he was at, and they'll tie him to this crime. Do you think this will go to a trial, Wade?
Well, it depends. Kentucky's a death penalty state, is it not?
Yeah. And so if they're wanting a death penalty, we might see 2 murder trials coming up high profile pretty soon in Kentucky with the other murder trials we have coming up in Eastern Kentucky.
Normally on these things, when the evidence from the beginning looks so strong, people tend to look towards a plea deal. And to deal with 2 trials, he's going to have maybe the same lawyer for both, but I would assume different.
Yeah, most of the time in Kentucky, in West Virginia, each circuit has their own public defender office. In Kentucky, they're actually grouped by trial divisions, and a trial division will take in a couple counties. And I don't know whether Stanton, which is Powell County, and Winchester, which is Clark County, I don't know if they're in the same trial division or not, but I would imagine a high-profile case like this, you want the same attorney, or at least them working together on these cases.
I would think so too, but if he has records of buying an Airbnb here, buying a hotel here, he had a truck, this would imply this is a person of means, and they might not necessarily qualify for a public defender.
Oh yeah, and you said something that just caught.
I want to talk about that right there. For a second.
Yeah.
And Wade called that correct. He said that this is a person of means, and he may not qualify for a public defender. And we actually got information that he has retained an attorney in this matter. Tucker Richardson, an attorney from out of Lexington, is going to handle his defense. And he is a known criminal defense attorney in Lexington area. I think he has handled murders in the past, and so that's who Brian Epperson's retained to be his legal counsel.
Do you know anything about him?
There was an airline pilot. I had a triple murder, and he defended the airline pilot on that. I'm not sure the result of that case. I just received that information whenever we started the live stream. And so that might be the reason Brian Epperson has retained him.
I watched that trial, and
really?
Yes, I watched that trial. I was glued to it, to the TV. That man, I thought he was not guilty. I would have said not guilty, but he was handsome too. So that might have been.
Do you remember anything about the attorney?
They were good. That boy thought that they had won it. Whenever the jury came back and convicted him, you could have, it was just unbelievable. Yeah.
Good lawyer like that makes me think it'll go to a trial then.
Yeah. And this is a lot of times the reason why a prosecutor will take a plea deal, because we had Josh Farrell on the program not too long ago, and he's an assistant prosecutor. And he said, a good defense attorney can throw a wrench in anything. Just look at the OJ case. And so, and a lot of times you got to explain to families that when you get 12 people in a box, you never know how they're going to think, what their life stories are, or what they're going to decide at the end of a trial. So rather than taking a chance, it's why most of the time that the state will offer a plea deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same way I tell my criminal defense defendants all the time. If it can go the other way, you might as well take a plea deal if you don't have a solid case, because when you get 12 people in a box, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. And you don't know how people are going to perceive you. Like a first impression, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. And like that guy that you were just talking about on the triple murder, they also had a female lawyer who did a lot of work on that case. And you could see her and this guy, the defendant, were very flirty with each other, very flirty throughout the entire trial. And which he was a very charming guy. Like he really was. He had me voting not guilty. He had me convinced. But and it just makes me wonder how much, that comes off on the jury,
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah. And it's also the risk that you take as a defendant getting up on the stand and testifying too. It's the same thing. You might think that you're really charming and you're a very convincing liar, but you get up on the stand and start talking, and the rest of them are like, man, I see right through you.
Yeah, most of the time, narcissistic people don't realize that people can see through their BS. And most of the time, when you get a defendant that wants to go up on the stand and talk, that's someone that's really sure of themselves, and probably in most cases too sure of themselves. I always recommend it's the state's burden to make their case. It's not on you. That's the reason why you need to remain silent. It's on them to prove their case. If you get on the stand, you help them prove their case.
Yeah. Don't self snitch.
Bruce Rivers.
That's right. But
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I don't think Epperson has that boy charm to get him out of trouble.
No, he don't. He looks like one I don't want to meet up with in the dark alley.
I know. That's what I said. He's 44 years old. That's been a really rough 44 years.
Yeah. Well, the chemicals that they're putting in this stuff, you guys. So that answers my question right there. People cannot hide it. Once they start doing methamphetamine, it comes out in the skin. It comes out, their skin color just turns like a grayish color.
And that's another defense, for those, well, not defense, but something we look at when we look at the pictures of those 3 young ladies that, they're on all over as their victims. They are very beautiful girls.
Yes.
I mean, they don't look like they're on meth. They're very beautiful.
They're well kept from good families, it seems, that are advocating for them. They have jobs, no real trouble out of them. So that's a very strong victim. That, like, when you have those victim statements in court, like, you have people there that'll sway a jury.
Well, that's one thing that we hear. Killers that are convicted already, that are already serving time. I've heard several of them say, I tried to pick people who wouldn't be missed, people who didn't have family, people who didn't have a job, people who didn't have kids. They didn't have anywhere to be, so nobody was expecting them home at a certain time. He chose victims that people just weren't missing. And so, I think that's a great point that you made there. They did not fit that mold. That drug addict.
It seems
mold.
like even with the voyeurism charge, it seems like we have a predator, kind of, in a way. He was targeting these beautiful women.
He targeted the wrong one because her old man was right on it. If he hadn't been,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, before we start back, I just want to give a shout out to Marnie P. I seen that chat you put up. She put "leave your DNA" on the like button while we were talking about the DNA stuff. I thought that was very clever. I just want to give her a shout out for that one.
Yeah, thanks, Marnie. Marnie's one of our mods. She's great. Thank you, Marnie. I was going to put it back up.
That we know about. Do you think there's possibly anything out there that we don't know about? Because it seems like the same MO. It did the same thing. How many days apart were these two?
Oh, they were within a week or so. June,
at least a month.
Yeah, at least a month.
At least a month of each other. So we're seeing a pattern. Did we have a possible serial killer on our hands?
Do you want to throw the video back up on the screen?
Oh,
there you go.
Sorry, dude. Thanks.
If it was an accident, allegedly, if someone passes away, accidental drug use, you're not going to give someone you care about that same batch of drugs, right?
Yeah.
So if it's known to be a drug that's going to kill somebody, and you just keep it around and you give it to someone else,
looks intentional.
It does look intentional, because the numbers that they were saying in the criminal complaint were well beyond normal levels.
And here's another thing you got to think about. Was he taking the same capsules? What was the reason why he didn't pass away? Because he wasn't taking those capsules. It seems like he knew not to take them.
Possibly. When you're arrested in Kentucky, do you undergo any sort of tox screenings, drug testing?
I'm not sure. I know in West Virginia, where me and you primarily practice, when you go into Southwestern Regional Jail or one of the regional jails, they will give you a tox screen immediately, what's in your system. But I'm not too sure about Kentucky.
I'm going to stop it right there and answer that question. So,
all right.
Used to, they did not do this. I don't know if it's a county or a jail policy. So it could be either way, but somebody reached out to me not long ago and said that they had served a lot of time in the Leslie County Jail where Mickey Steins is being held. And they said that every single time you get booked into that jail, they give you a urine test. And so they record your urine screen. So that does at least give us a little bit of hope that if we see any of the discovery out of the Mickey Steins case, at least we'll see what he tested for on his urine screen whenever he went into the Leslie County Jail. So I don't know about any other jails, but I know Leslie County Jail pees everybody as they get booked in.
So in Kentucky, you guys have county jail systems, which we used to have. Like the county would operate a jail, sheriff would do it. But we switched over to a regional jail system. So you have a couple of counties sharing a jail. So in Kentucky, it's county by county.
Then you have some counties like you have Johnson County, Martin County, and I think Lawrence County. They come together and they're the big Sandy jail. But you know, each one of those counties run an individual jailer, and even though that jailer may not have duties other than transporting a prisoner to their court hearings in their respective counties, they really don't have any other job duties because they come together and they have their own like regional jail, kind of like we have. But those three counties are paying for that regional jail.
Gotcha.
Wow. Now, they had built a new jail in Harlan County Jail. Now, I had been to the old jail several times myself, but then whenever they built the new one, I've never had the pleasure of going there. But I don't know. I think it's just Harlan County. I'm pretty sure it's just Harlan County. It's just different towns, that they use for it. But I wonder I bet they probably have more of those that, like what you were saying, had the three counties.
Yeah, I'm sure you got several small counties that get together and they cooperate because running a jail is a huge expense to a county.
Oh yeah.
I know Pike County Jail benefits from holding federal prisoners for the federal courthouse there. That they get the federal money for doing that. But I mean, when you go to the Pike County Jail, it's booked. I mean, it's packed out in there.
That place is a madhouse. Don't go to.
Somebody had just told me, like last week, about the Pike County Jail that they had put in a bid or something, or had applied to start housing federal inmates, but their problem with it, the person that was telling me about it, was they're already overcrowded. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of people there. Yeah.
How are you going to apply to bring federal inmates and then triple and quadruple over capacity? So I bet that really is a madhouse, ain't it?
You think about Pike County, you think about US 23 runs right through the heart of it. And so you get a lot of them picking people up just for the US 23 being there. Because that's a major road and it goes right through the heart of Pikeville. I mean, it goes right through Pikeville.
It goes through Pikeville to Prestonsburg, where we have the Amber Spradling case, and then it goes up to this neck of the woods.
And it goes Virginia, and then you can take the exit and go right to Whitesburg.
Yeah, and I guess that would probably be a pipeline there, wouldn't it? I'd say they've had a really big problem with trafficking across the mountain, these states.
Well, Matt said 23 was the most dangerous road in the country at one point.
When I was growing up, I always did hear that all the people that I grew up around, all the old timers, used to tell you that 23 was one of the most deadliest roads in America. I never did any independent research on it or not, but I mean, that's all I heard was one of the deadliest roads.
Interesting. Well, the old roads were a lot worse than the new roads. For sure. And cut off. I mean, they're like this all the way down.
Oh yeah. I lived in a place where I had to go over 3 mountains just to get to civilization at one time.
Yeah. Uphill, had to walk barefoot uphill both ways.
I mean, because in Kentucky, you got jails ran by counties, and every county's different.
Because I'm if he goes into that jail and his drug test comes back clean, that's something.
That's
right there.
telltale.
Yeah. I would like to talk about a new charge that has came out against them.
Oh yeah, it's the video voyeurism. I think it's a new charge, and we have that complaint here for you on the Docket Dodgers, and Wade's going to read that to you now.
Yeah, and to have something like this come up afterwards, it just shows that he has a lot going on.
He does have a lot going on.
And this was from 6/30/25. As the police were continuing their investigation into Epperson, a detective was interviewing a female at Shayla Maru, which is when a digital recording device was located in the female's bedroom. So the recording device was a fake digital clock. So on the outside, it looked like a digital clock, but there was a camera underneath the plastic glass plating.
And this is a different woman, is that correct?
This is a different woman. This would be, I believe, a former girlfriend of his, or someone he had access to their bedroom. Inside, it was a hidden audio and video port, and a search found an SD card. And the female respondent could be seen doing sexual things on the video, and it was taken without her consent or knowledge. And the digital clock stored data, what we could assume was data collected until it was found, which could have been a while. And it says he was a previous live-in boyfriend of the victim, but had been removed from the residence for over a month.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no telling how long he had that clock there. And is that the only camera? Is this? Could he have been doing this in all kinds of places?
We say that it's at the only camera, and then we get on the victims of Brian Epperson's Facebook page, and we see that if you can pull it back up there, those outlet plugs that have cameras on them, that they supposedly invoice other people. Yeah, he was going out doing contracting work for other people, and then when the people will get their invoices, those receptacles will be on the invoice, and those are, I guess, have a hidden camera on the inside of them.
Yeah, I would assume wireless, maybe.
Yeah,
and he would just have collecting videos and audio of people inside their homes.
And that's why I said these are really beautiful women. He's putting hidden camera inside of a women's home. We may have some sort of predator serial red rummer on our hands. You're muted.
Yeah, big time. Thanks. Wow, man, it's just insane, ain't it, that it's this bad. Okay.
And you can see, I've just now seen it on its Amazon Business. You can see that says your order on behalf of Epperson Contracting. I'm just now noticing that on the receipt.
Yeah.
But look at the price.
Yep. What's the price? $188.
Yeah.
Listen, man, you bring a plug into my house and you tell me it's $188.
We're gonna have a problem.
Well,
that would have stood out on an itemized list to me, a $200 outlet.
yeah, but that's one of the things I'm always talking about white collar crime, and how easy it is with like these nonprofits around here. Well, not just around here, anywhere. Whenever they start putting in all of this financial information, if you don't know what you're looking at, you might look at it and put your big old John Hancock right on it and say, here you go, it looks good. And you just looked at it, but you didn't know what you was looking at, I have a big pet peeve when we watch the city council meetings and you got somebody that goes over the budget information or whatever. They'll get up there and they'll just ramble off a whole bunch of numbers and stuff. And you're sitting there like, I don't even know what I just listened to. I have no idea what you were even talking about. How does that inform people? Like, this could have been
Yeah.
a very similar thing. People put it on
Yeah.
there, just don't notice it.
Exactly. You're getting your contracting work done, and you're like, okay, this is the price we agreed to. Here's his list of stuff that he needed. Here's
Mhm.
the check, and you just go on about your day.
You trust people.
Right.
Yeah. You already trust him enough to let him in your home because you're probably not hanging out there all day while he's working.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay. Let me get back over here, guys.
So right now they haven't scheduled anything new, have they?
I think we have a couple of hearings coming up. Wade, I was just looking at that. Let's see if I can find them really quick. I had them pulled up.
Because the more discovery that comes out in this case, I bet the wackier it's going to get.
Well, I don't see a schedule in order, but he did have his prelim on the Kristen Morris on July 15th. Oh, no, his next hearing is July 15th. We just had that, right? That's when they said his bond. His bond is actually $100,000 cash. That's what they said his bond for.
Does anybody know anything about his family? Has he got money?
I don't know.
I don't know anything. Hopefully someone that's listening right now is local and they know a little more because the local people always know the most.
Yeah, anybody that is familiar with this case, reach out. hillbillycrime@gmail.com. You guys want to give your Docket Dodgers email?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we're docketdodgers@gmail.com.
All right. So if y'all have any information, reach out to me or reach out to them and share
Hillbilly,
it.
I think we're going to have. I don't see. Maybe Mickey's case might play out, but I don't see the Amber Spradlin one playing out, and I don't see this one playing out too. So we might have to have two trials we need to cover.
Yeah,
That's something to
absolutely.
look forward to.
It is. I am. Go ahead.
I was going to say the Amber Spradlin one, they already got the broadcasting deal worked out. Eastern Kentucky Mountaintop Media. Mountaintop Media is going to do it, so we should have access to it and be able to comment over it.
What they'll actually do, they're the pool, and if you're a journalist, they're supposed to give you that pool ID number that you can tap into their main feed and rebroadcast it.
Awesome. So we'll have to do that. Definitely. I was interested in streaming the Stephen Stearns case. Are y'all familiar with the Stephen Stearns?
I haven't heard of that one, no.
Maddie, so it was the little 13-year-old girl and her mom's boyfriend, of course, unalived her. And it ended up, whenever she went missing, they took the phones, and just checked his phone. Well, he had done a wipe of his phone, but as he had been taking videos of this little girl for the last 8-10 years of her life, it had been sinking to his Gmail account.
So the cloud.
The cops found it, and they charged him with so much stuff because he was like stupid. I mean, he had been taking pictures of this little girl like almost every day that he was around her. It was
Where
awful.
was that at?
In Florida. Stephen Stearns. Yeah, it's been a really, really big case. The mother has not been charged. They don't have any evidence that she knew, but it was just total negligence and it was right in her face. I don't know how she didn't know, but she says she didn't know, so they've not charged her. But Stephen Stearns' trial was supposed to start this week. It's just such a sad and such an upsetting case.
Oh no. Hard to watch.
It is hard. Those things are really hard to watch. So I don't know. But you guys got anything else to say before I push the button?
Push it.
Yeah.
It just makes you really think of he's setting up cameras. He's allegedly doing sexually depraved things.
Do we have a mental competency defense?
I wouldn't think so because I feel like he is knowingly doing whatever he's doing. It's not like he's acting upon a whim or here that. Where do you go and buy a fake digital camera with a recording device?
You have to intentionally go on the internet and find it.
Yeah.
So let me stop at and point out Jules B. Sounds like he was in the movie business. You know, that is one of the big thing. Everything's digital. And I used a little pig Latin, y'all, or no pay.
Yeah.
That's my word for it. The essay stuff.
When they get his phone, right? If he's in any of these online groups, online chat rooms, they might blow up big.
You know, but and I'm just thinking about that too. You say the movie business, and what Jules says to trigger something to me, that some of these pay places, they let you, that when you upload a video, you get AdSense kind of like you do on YouTube. So is he making money off of it?
Right. That was what I was thinking.
Yeah.
There's so much money involved in this stuff. You know, sex trafficking is a very, you know, lucrative.
Yeah.
Thank you. Business. And now everything is digital. So a few weeks ago, one of my neighbors found a piece of paper blowing in the wind out in the grass out here in the yard, and picked it up, and it was a picture. It was a Pay picture. And I thought, she ended up throwing it away, but we were all like, how would you even get a physical print of something like that these days? You know, like everything is digital. If you was to send a photographs in through Walmart or something like that, they'd call the police. You can't,
right.
you can't hide that stuff anymore. Like, I just don't.
You'd have to have that room in there. You'd have to have a whole photo set up in your home to get away with something like that. Now it's all digital on laptops and phones.
And there's red flags nowadays. I realize it probably wasn't in this case done this way, but like I tell my kids and my kids' friends, we're raising boys, you know, and I'm like, don't you ever think that just because nobody's got your password, that anything you're doing on that phone is not caught. Like if you search up something bad, that's bad like that, or no pay bad, that's going to trigger a flag, and that's going to go to the Office of Exploited and Missing Children, or whatever that office is. It goes to them. They're the ones who flag it, and then they send a referral or whatever, or report or whatever, to the local police department or whoever it is, and they send the IP address of where that flag came from. And then they have to investigate it and find out who, you know, what device and who that IP address is connected to, or, you know, whatever. And so they can find out. And you're thinking, well, nobody sees this. Nobody's got my password. You know, I'll just sit in the bathroom and do what I'm doing. Yeah, until cops come knocking on the door. So don't think.
Sometimes I feel like the local police just don't have the knowledge or maybe the want to be involved in that kind of stuff. When we see like the higher profile like crimes like that, it's always federal, wouldn't you say?
Well, I was going to say we actually had one at the local, our local jurisdiction. We had one of those, the Center for Exploited Children. They actually sent one to our state police barrack here, and we had an investigation that I know about.
Are you how is it in West Virginia? Because I can tell you here in Kentucky, the sentencing guidelines are just whack. Like one person can get probation and no jail time, but then somebody else get 50 years.
I will say this about our local prosecutor's office. We have a couple of assistant prosecutors that normally take those type of cases, and they are really strict. I mean, you get a case like that, they want to see you under the jail. And the way the statute reads in West Virginia is that every second or 10 seconds, I can't remember exactly, of a video that is watched, that's how many photos, equivalent to how many photos.
It's like 500,000.
And that's what they charge you with. They charge you with how many photos you have on your device. So if you're watching a video, every second counts as a photo almost.
You're getting the max. Like any video is like the max sentence.
Yeah.
Frame by frame. I got you. Got you. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. I don't think, like you said, I don't think that we have enough training, and I just don't think we have enough experience or in those roles, in those local roles.
But it's new. It's coming to them so quickly, you know, like they never took computer science classes. Go to your local police station and ask them what an IP address is and see what you get.
Exactly. But who are in our political roles? A lot of these people are like in their 80s, their 70s, their 80s. You know, Mitch McConnell. I mean, he's stroking out on TV. You know, I mean, you know what I'm saying? They're just old. Like they're so far. They're so much older than the technology and stuff, and the modernization of everything. Like, I just don't think. I think we need term limits.
Preach.
I think most Americans agree with that term limit.
Yeah, get them out of there. They should not. I mean, we shouldn't have to wait until they're in the grave before they're out of there.
They were supposed to retire from a job 15 years ago, and now they're voting on the most important things in the country. They're well past their retirement age.
And our politicians shouldn't be getting rich in office. Like, we should not be making a career politician. I just don't feel that way. I want to get rich too. Let me
Exactly.
Like, if you're a manic person, depraved, like you're acting irrationally in the moment, this is not something you can like run down to the store and buy.
You know, something else we need to talk about too is we have 2 murder cases going on in 2 different jurisdictions. Let's say Clark County picks up a murder, the murder charge, and they're like, okay, if you go ahead and plea and we don't go to trial, we're going to take the death penalty off the table. Something that he has to think about, and his defense team's got to think about, is that if he takes that plea and say that Stanton, Powell County wants to seek the death penalty, now they have a prior guilty plea that they'll be able to use. Usually you can't use prior crimes, but this is showing motive and intent.
It's so connected.
It's so connected, yeah.
And that's why I think that the other county's waiting to bring the charges. They want to see how it's going to play out, and they have time to
they have plenty of time, yeah.
Because he's not going anywhere.
No.
He's not getting out of jail. So when it comes to getting out on bond, on bail, what are the factors that like a judge would consider?
Most of the time, the pretrial services are going to evaluate that individual, and they're going to look at 2 factors. They're going to look at the dangerousness to the community, and I think you have a lot of that in this case, and the likelihood of flight. I know if I'm facing 2 murder charges and a voyeurism charge, I'm probably going to head for the hills.
Exactly. You're going to get out of that hang 'em high southern state, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to the prosecutor in either county, I think the community is big behind keep him locked up, and I don't think the prosecutor in either county would budge. But this has been a real interesting case. We're right at the beginning of it, so there's going to be a lot to come up. He hasn't been arraigned in that second murder yet, hasn't even brought charges. They're going to be a lot of pretrial motions and discovery and all of that to come out. So
let me ask you guys a question. We're at the end of that. With like discovery, I was very, very surprised that we got as much video and stuff with the Mickey Steins case as what we've gotten. Do you think that we'll get stuff in this case before the trial?
Normally you don't get discovery until someone's indicted. I don't know what's the particular reason why they were letting the Mickey Stein stuff out early. Do you know?
I don't know. I was
It might
surprised.
be just the fact it might be a Freedom of Information FOIA request from some sort of journalism agency putting it up. But most of the time, those type of things are exempt from Freedom of Information Act, an ongoing case. But I don't know. I hope we do. I think that there's going to be, and if you think about it, if you are the prosecution team, you want some of these bits to get out into the community, so that way when you go pick a jury, it's just like the Amber Spradlin case and the Mickey Steins case. How many people do you think in Eastern Kentucky have not heard about something about these cases? I would say everybody has. And so
Yeah.
you want that. You want that out in the community. If I'm a prosecutor, you want that out in the community. You just don't want to pick a jury that's already made their mind up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's going to be very interesting how that works. I thought that you didn't get stuff like this until after there was a resolution of a case. I didn't think you got anything before, something had happened. But with all the Mickey Steins video, it's
Yeah, we
gotten
see that
to
in the Kohlberger case, the Brian Kohlberger case. They just lifted they had a gag order in that, so they were preventing both sides from releasing information. I mean, when you get something in discovery, there's nothing that says you can't release it. But they actually had a gag order. What was it? There's a proper word for that. I can't remember the proper word for that. A non-something.
A non-disclosure.
Or no, it starts with an S. Non-dissemination. Yeah, agreement or order in there where they couldn't. No one could just, disclose anything that was going on in that case. Yeah, nobody can disclose anything.
Yeah, but Amazon had their documentary ready to go.
They did. They had it. I've already watched it. Listen, my wife. I sat down yesterday and watched all 4 episodes.
Oh,
My wife is really into the Brown Kohlberger.
Well, I watched that hearing, and the judge asked if there was any reason why he shouldn't go ahead and lift that. And the prosecutor wanted it in place until sometime. And then the defense attorney, she was like, yeah, I want to keep it in place too. And he was like, I'll give you until this, whenever it was like the end of that week or something. And he was like, okay, I'm going to lift it.
What I hate about it is think about Brian Kohlberger. I mean, I watched that documentary. I didn't know a whole lot about the Brian Kohlberger case until I watched that documentary. And what I hate about what those 4 young kids went through is now that Brian Kohlberger may potentially be able to write a book in prison and profit from all that.
Can he?
Yeah, he can profit from, and then somebody can just deposit his money as a commissary, especially, he's got somebody on the outside that's willing to help him and willing to help, spend his money the way he needs it to be spent. But I mean, he's never getting out of jail. He can only enjoy it in jail, but still, he's going to have plenty of money.
I didn't think anybody could profit financially from a murder that they committed.
You might be right, but I mean,
OJ wrote his book, right?
But he was acquitted. OJ was acquitted, but that's what type of situation popped in my mind. An OJ Simpson, like if I did it.
Yeah, well, regardless, there's all different ways that you can hide it.
Right? Yeah.
Well, the families could still sue. His families could still sue for some of that money.
Oh yeah,
like
wrongful death, and they'll be able to attach to that money. So that's probably what they'll end up doing.
That's fine.
Yeah, let him make his money.
Yeah,
let him take it.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Well, so this is going to keep on going, and we will absolutely cover this. I'm glad that you all brought it to my attention. Thank you, Matt, for hollering at me with it.
No problem. I like collaborating with you, and you give a lot of insight, and you break things down in a way that I feel like normal people need to hear it broke down, and not because you understand it at a high level, and you're like me, you're a hillbilly. You can talk to somebody at the lowest level that you need to.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, you all are always welcome back anytime. You guys always have a standing invitation anytime you holler at me like you did, Matt.
I don't want to say something too. When we first came in here, we were right under 500 subscribers. And I was talking to you about that. I just checked my phone, and we're over 500 now. So I want to thank you, and I want to thank you to all the Hillbilly Crime community for putting us over the top there.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, and we will absolutely keep hollering and giving y'all a shout out. And you're coming along. Don't worry.
Hey, it's been a month. That's what. Well, I said it's been 1 month. We've already hit our watch hours on monetization. We're just lacking the subscribers. Once we get to that point, I mean, I feel like we hit it really fast because it takes most people over a year to hit it. And just the support we've got, we really want to thank everyone for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you guys for going over there and subscribing to their channel. We're going to keep on sharing your stuff, and we'll keep shouting out subscribers, and we'll get y'all monetized quick. We'll help you.
Well, and it is really not about the monetization. I think me and Wade would do this anyways.
No,
we love it.
We have so much fun doing this.
I mean, somebody posted on our comments the other day, can you guys do a show without giggling? And I was like, I don't think we can.
No, we can't.
I know, man. I heard a long time ago somebody said if you find something that you enjoy doing, you'll never work a day. And that's what I say. I'm so thankful for this job now, because this is what I would be doing after I got off work.
You can tell you're meant to do it. You really can. You do a really good job.
Well, thanks, Matt. Well, you and Wade, you guys have a great rest of your evening, and we will see you next time, okay? You guys got anything you want to say? You anything else?
No, you covered it.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see
Thank
you
you.
later.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. All right, guys. Well, you all, let's see. Does anybody got anything else they wanted to say? I got a plea deal wood chipper for mom, too. Okay, death was taken off the table. All right. Well, you all have a great rest of your night, and we will see you all tomorrow. I don't know about Stephen Stearns. I don't know what we're going to do. I wanted to follow that case, and I didn't realize that it was on this morning. Sorry, y'all. But send me an email, shoot me a message, and we'll get tomorrow planned out. See, Miss Anita, do you know where I can get digital image on some pictures forensically? Is that what you're asking? I don't know, Miss Anita. I don't know, honey. Send us an email. All right, guys. Well, Lord, we thank you, Jesus, for one more day being able to come together in your name. We thank you for all the blessings that you give us, Lord. We thank you for the roofs over our head, our shoes on our feet, the food that we eat, the clothes that we wear, the vehicles that we drive. Lord, I'm so thankful for everything. Every single day that we wake up is another blessing that we didn't have yesterday. None of us are promised tomorrow. We can walk out our door and never come home tonight. I plead the blood of Jesus over myself, my children, all of our viewers, everybody that can hear the sound of my voice. I plead the blood of Jesus over our lives, Lord. Whatever's going on, only you know. And I pray that you move in each and every one of our lives, however we all need you to move. I pray that you go before us, Lord. Put your light at our feet and let us not waver. Don't let our feet fall, Lord. Hallelujah, hallelujah. I thank you, Jesus. I pray that you'll forgive me for my sins. I fall short every single day, Lord. I make mistakes. Say things I shouldn't say. I pray that you'll put a watch over my mouth and help me to not say things I don't need to say, Lord, and give me the words to be able to say what I do need to say. I pray for your Holy Spirit, Lord, to just guide me. Hallelujah, Lord. I thank you, Jesus. I thank you for your presence in my life, Lord. I thank you for all the healing that you've done. You've healed all those broken places in my heart, Lord, and I'm just so grateful. Until we meet again, Lord, We give you all praise, honor, and glory. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, guys. Well, you all have a great rest of your night, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace out, Girl Scout. Bye.